parents would bring their friends over to, and a lot of people actually thought that I was playing at that point. Of course I wasn't. But so it's been, it goes back as far as I can remember. I've never really done anything else. I don't know how to do anything else. It's a good thing this thing worked out for me.
Did you take lessons when you were younger in school or private lessons?
Yeah, I took private guitar lessons. I think I started when I was about 10. And yeah, I took lessons for a good 4 or 5 years.
What is your favorite thing to play? And when you write, I mean, you write for the band, and I know you all collaborate, but when you write, what is the instrument that inspires you the most?
Well, usually I write with an acoustic guitar.
Tell me what you think I'm feeling. You know why I do what I do. Why should you listen to a word I'm saying when it's already so clear to you? You tell me about my bad intentions. You doubt the very things I hold true. I can no longer live with your misconceptions. Baby, all I can say to you is that ain't love. I believe you got the wrong emotion. But that ain't love. At least it doesn't feel like love to me. As long as I say what you want to hear, do what you want to do, be who you want me to be. You think that's love? Baby, that ain't love to me. Oh, no, no, no.
Sometimes I write on the piano. I kind of taught myself the little I know on the piano, but and in our concert, I actually do play piano on a few songs because mainly because the parts that I write on piano are impossible for real piano players to play because I play piano like a guitar player. So.
You should have seen by the look in my eyes, baby. There was something missing.
So I play a couple of songs on piano, but in general, it's a nice old acoustic guitar. It just feels like home to me.
Now, do you have the same baby grand that you first started playing on?
No, that would be cool. No,
no.
I do have my first electric guitar though.
Do you have it here?
Not here. I've got it back at the studio at home. I wish you could see that.
How's this for movie magic?
Wow.
How was that?
Oh, be careful what you wish for. Here we are. My first guitar. I keep it out here as a reminder of where I could be. But this is it, the Harmony Rocket, baby.
Oh, look at that.
Look at the knobs on that thing.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I originally fell in love with it. I mean, it's in pretty darn good shape, all things considered.
Oh yeah, no, it's beautiful. Where did you buy it? Can you remember when?
I didn't buy it. What happened was I actually was playing in a band with a bunch of kids that were older than me, and my parents weren't really fond of it because they were in high school and I was still in like 6th or 7th grade. And one of the main reasons that I liked to play with these guys is that they had this guitar. It was one of their extras. And I used to go to rehearsals and play this guitar, and I loved this guitar. So my parents were willing to do anything to get me out of this band. So they bought the guitar, and I think I was probably like in 7th grade, and they gave it to me for Christmas, and it was a very, very exciting moment. All right, so we're going back to rehearsal, magically transported back to rehearsal by your magic powers, Alex?
Yes.
All right, baby, let's go. Ready?
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
And it was a great little story because I sold it when I was in high school to buy another guitar, and never really thought about it again. And then years later, like in the early 80s, someone contacted my folks and said that they thought they had my first electric guitar and would I like to buy it back. And of course I'm thinking they're going to charge $10,000, which and at the time I probably would have paid that. But he charged me like $300 or $400, and so I've got the first electric guitar I ever owned. So yeah.
Awesome. Do you use it during your concerts?
No, it's sitting up in my studio just kind of as a little vibe thing.
Yeah, it's just for your personal.
Yeah, just as a soul warmer,
Do you think that the music programs in the schools today are keeping the kids interested, or do you think that there's something they could do to change it?
My oldest son, Paris, is a great musician. He's obviously been around music his whole life, and he's a great drummer to this day. As a matter of fact, we often play music together, and it's a great bond that we have between a father and son. Little Holly is still in preschool.
Really cute, by the way.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. Music is a big part of her life at school. As a matter of fact, they bring me down there to entertain the kids, and and it's
And
a
you go,
gas.
you just go.
Oh, it's the best, and you see that children at that age, you would think that 4-year-old kids, like, they don't know who anybody is, they're not impressed by anything. They just react to music just for the real basic human enjoyment of it. And the first time I did it at Holly's class, I didn't know what their attention span would be or what would happen, and they were right there with it. I mean, everything they all came up and wanted to strum my guitar just to see how it felt, and I gave them each a turn, and they just were spellbound by the instrument and just I just sang little songs, coming around the mountain, that kind of stuff. And so I see it in my babies. As you know, I have twin baby boys, and they already sing the melody for Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in their cribs in the morning. So music is just, if a young person is exposed to it, they soak it up, and it's so good for them. And I'm sure the studies where they say that if you expose kids to music, it actually helps their math scores. It always seems like as soon as there's a budget problem in the school system, what's the first thing to get cut? It's it's the music, and it's the theater programs, and things that are so important to kids. And to ignore that and to think that kids need reading and writing and arithmetic, well, of course they do, but they need music and they need theater. They need that way to express their emotions so that they feel good, because when they feel good, they're gonna like school more, and they're going to enjoy the experience.
And it'll give them the confidence to do maybe what you had the confidence
Sure.
to do. We were talking earlier about how your lyrics, they touched me. I know that, in the ballads especially.
Okay, slap me again.
Certain situations or how you feel about another person. I mean, you really touched on the words are just so exact and precise to what I was feeling. Is that what inspired you to write them? Is that where it's coming from, your personal life experience?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The best songs I write are the ones that where the music and the lyric all kind of comes at the same time, and the good thing about that is that's when I know that there's something special about it. It's not like there's something to be said for writing the music and then writing, having a lyricist come in and do the lyrics, or that collaborative art. That's a whole other thing. But I find that when it all kind of happens from the same burst of energy, then there's a connection between the lyrics and the music that is undeniable, because they both came from the same feeling. And that I just write about what's happening to me, about writing for a long time for me was a way to express my anger and my confusion about things, to kind of ask the questions of myself that I needed answers for. And some of our biggest songs are songs where I wrote the verses and then struggled with the chorus for years because I hadn't lived it yet. Can't Fight This Feeling, which is probably our most popular song, I wrote the verses and wrote the chorus literally 10 years later.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, because I just hadn't, the verses asked the questions and the chorus kind of gave the answers. And, so for me, I wrote a number of different choruses for that song, and I just knew that it didn't feel right. It just wasn't, but I knew that the verses had something really, from the moment I wrote those verses, I just had a feeling that was, it sounds weird to say, but I had a feeling that if I could finish that song, it would be a #1 record. And I was just a kid when I wrote those things. I had no idea what a #1 record even meant, but I had that feeling, and it did come true. So
look at that. I mean, I didn't know that. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
What do you think gives your group longevity in this business, or any group for that matter, longevity in the music industry?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, I think, people have to react to the songs, obviously, and there's a lot of luck involved, a lot of just timing, and I think if the music strikes a chord with people, you said that our song struck a chord with you, and I think obviously the music struck a chord with a lot of people who still come to see us play and support us, and here we are 30 years later, still drawing huge crowds in concert and having a great time.
Are you feeling good, feeling good, feeling good, feeling good, feeling good, feeling good? Feeling good, feeling good, feeling good, feeling good, feeling good, feeling good. Feeling good, feeling good, feeling good, feeling good. Good, 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 good. Tell me one more time. Are y'all feeling good?
our business, the business end of our thing has always been family. And we've never signed a management contract with our manager. He's been with us since the beginning. The guys in the band, we get along. And when we play in concert, if you come and see us, you'll see that the fun that you see us having when we're playing the music, it's not like we all show up on different buses. We're all, we all get along. We'll go out and play golf on the days off. And so we keep a good sense of humor about ourselves, take our music seriously, but don't take ourselves seriously.
Do you feel you use your voice as an instrument?
Up until about 1985, I had no idea what I was doing. I'd never taken a singing lesson, and I don't really have a natural singing voice. And I was a singer. I mean, obviously, I sang on a lot of hit records, but it was every night on tour. It was just kind of cross your fingers and hope it was going to happen, and it was so very stressful. And finally, I think it was about 1985, I just realized that, because I tried taking singing lessons when I was younger, and it didn't really make sense to me. But I thought, I'm going to really give this a try, and I worked with a vocal coach for a good year and a half. He showed me a series of vocal exercises and warm-up exercises that I do religiously. I mean, on the way driving down here today, if someone was sitting next to me on the freeway, they'd see me, and I sometimes wonder what people next to me at the stoplight think I'm doing over there. But
there's another loon on the freeway.
Exactly. And they'd be right. A lot of it is emotion, and I used to just rely strictly on emotion, but now I have a little bit more control over it, and normally I don't get hoarse, although at rehearsals sometimes I do. There are ways to sing that some people, my friend Richard Marks, just could sing the phone book and slays you. In fact, I listened to a CD yesterday that we did together. It was, check this out. It was Richard, Bill Champlin, who you know, David Crosby, and myself. And I listened to this record yesterday that we made together, and each guy took some solo lines, and there's some scary singing going on with these guys. But I've worked on it, and I think that one of the things that keeps me excited about touring and about recording is that I feel like I'm singing my best now, and that's fun. I can squeeze a little more out of the tunes, and I'm having a lot more fun singing than I ever have because I don't have the fear of losing my voice on tour. And I do my vocal exercises fairly religiously. The last week I kind of slacked off, and this is the result. So
you gotta practice.
Yeah, you do. You really do. Okay. I mean,
can you show us your guitar collection?
Yes, I believe it's right over there. Okay. Shall we
let's go.
Stroll over? This is actually my touring guitars.
Okay.
My real guitar collection is in my studio at home because there's some, rare old Martin acoustics that I've collected over the years. I've had a relationship with Ovation, with actually Command Music for over 20 years. They've treated me really great, and they make my guitars custom. I'm trying to think of when the first Vipers came out, but these Viper guitars are so great because they're acoustics, and from the front, you see them, and it just looks, exactly like an acoustic guitar, the wood grain and everything. When you turn it sideways, it's extremely thin. So for me, being kind of a rock and roll acoustic player, it doesn't, it gives me a chance to feel like I'm playing an electric guitar. The guitar isn't sticking out to here, and it just it lends itself to rocking a little bit with the acoustic guitar. And that's been part of REO Speedwagon's sound